The Lord Morning Show. We up. Y'all already know we here. Just want you to get in the comments and talk with us today. We got a special treat for you today. We're talking about business. We're talking about just a way that you can run your own successful business. And we have a guest today that is going to help us out with that. So right after our intro, we're going to get right into that. It's the Pastor Lord Morning Show. We up. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. We got a special guest for y'all. Like I said, this young man, and I say young man, but I think he's older than me. But we met not too long ago, and we built a connection rather quickly. Played basketball and all, and in doing that, I've learned more about his business acumen, and I thought that it'd be good to bring him on today. He is a business consultant. He runs a few businesses that he'll share with you about, along with his wife Chanel. He is a mogul in my eyes, and he's still trying to climb higher. So we're gonna introduce today Mr. Terrence Latham.
What's up, how you doing? How you doing, man?
Doing good, doing good. So tell us a little bit about what you got going on.
Okay, awesome. First off, man, I really want to say I truly appreciate the opportunity to be a part of your show. It means a lot to me to just have a platform and be able to share. And I find it honorable, from you that you chose me. So I really appreciate that. Really appreciate it. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Give us a little background.
All right, so my name is Terrence Latham. Me and my wife share a few small businesses together. My wife's name is Chanel Latham. We own a business called Renaissance Studios. We have a couple of locations. We also have a business called Event Junkie Venue. We run that company also. We have a dealership. We have an auto detailing business. We have quite a few things going on. So I've been in my business for myself since I was about 18 years old. I'm now 38, so a little over 20 years in business, working on my 21st year. So wow. Excited to be here, man, and share and hopefully help somebody and, grow a business owner and be great. So, yes, sir.
Absolutely. And that's the main thing, you guys. We want to make sure that we're putting principles and stuff out there for y'all to be able to grab, and be able to maybe start your own business, and to be real about whether or not you're cut out to be a business owner. When Terrence and I first met through a mutual friend, the first thing he said, I don't know if you remember, he was like, these are two money makers right here. Because he knew that both of us pretty much had something successful going on. And but people don't know, you work around the clock. It ain't no clocking out. So just talk a little bit about the challenges that you've seen from being employee to what's the difference between being an employee and an entrepreneur?
Okay. Really great question. So really, as far as being an employee and an entrepreneur, I'll talk about the challenges that I faced in the beginning. So as a new entrepreneur, and this goes for everybody, anybody that hasn't been trained, and whether you have some training or not, you have to learn some key principles, some key guidelines and drills, and dealing with people. So a couple of things. One of the number one things is learn integrity. Like, I believe that comes first. So, and what I mean by that is you have to have integrity when it comes to whatever product that you're selling. Right. So you have to be able to take care of your customer. When your customer have a complaint, when your customer's not right, you have to be able to receive that feedback and be able to take care of that problem, as well as with your employees. You have to be able to take care of them, make sure they're getting paid and paid on time, treating your employees right. I think that your heart integrity comes with your heart. It's a heart issue if you don't have integrity. So first and foremost, if you're not a person of integrity, I just don't believe, you should pursue a business owner, in my opinion. So.
Yeah. And a lot of people, they get into it for the wrong reasons. And I always I was just talking to my daughter, and I was sharing with her, everybody is in the service business. When you think about Jeff Bezos, who's a multi-billionaire, the richest man on the planet, he has to serve people through Amazon. The plumber, he's a servant. Everybody, you could say whether you want to be an entrepreneur or not, and if you think that becoming an entrepreneur means that you don't have to answer to anybody, that's not the case. Because it's really your name on the line. And you be at your regular job and somebody do a bad review is whatever, but you get a bad review on your business, that's like, you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean that can shut you down almost. So but yeah, so that integrity piece, how do you when you think about, okay, when you're an entrepreneur, they give you the money. Well, let me go back. When you're an employee, when you get paid, taxes are already taken out. Everything you need to pay, you just taking your check home. How do you manage the money part to make sure you're setting enough aside, make sure you're paying employees, all that good stuff?
So that's a great question. And can I go back for a second? I want to answer that question, but can I go back real quick when we talked about service, right? I think you made a great point. Let me write that down, money management. So you talked about service, right? So all of us as business owners are serving someone.
Yeah.
So if you really think about it, we wasn't even created to be here for us. Our whole intent was to serve, right?
Right.
So let's go back a little further. Even Jesus, God birthed Jesus and brought him here to serve, right?
Right.
And everybody that he faced, everybody that he was around, even then, in the midst of, violation and trouble and, whatever Jesus faced, he always was a servant, right?
That's right. First.
In spite of, right? So if we're Christians and we're talking, about being a Christian, like, let's just take a principle from Jesus. In spite of, he served, right?
Yeah.
In spite of, he had integrity. In spite of, he loved, right? He didn't have a heart issue. So in general, if you just steal that principle alone from Jesus Christ, that he was a man of service,
right,
and God brought him to us to serve, and you take that principle within your business and you serve your employees, you serve your customers, we all have a boss. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So hopefully that helps somebody.
Yeah, and then think about it, right? The more you serve, the more you have the opportunity to be rich, really.
That's a
I
fact.
mean, think about it, because Jeff Bezos serving millions of people a day. So, and I'm not saying that you're supposed to serve to become rich, but I think the key to wealth, and the key to really, because I don't know any, somebody asked me, how do you become rich? I don't know. I'm not rich, but there's a level of importance when it comes to how you serve, the enthusiasm behind it, making sure that you're putting your best foot forward. So that, I mean, and then that expands to the people that work for you as well. You know what I mean?
That's a fact.
Yeah.
Right.
So, I mean, it's definitely a good thing. But what were we saying before? Talking about
we was talking about money. So
money. Yeah. How do you manage?
Yeah. So again, guys, remember, service is so important. That's why we talk about customer service. It's the most important thing that you have to do in your business. And reviews are everything, like you talked about. So just keep that. That's a key principle. Jesus served. He had disciples that follow him. He served them.
Right.
Jesus wasn't too big. It bothers me when, some people, you guys, you make $1,000 and now, you forget where you made that money at. You know what I mean? Then Lord knows don't give you 10,000 or 100,000, and you forget about why you're there, or even $1 million. So you keep that key principle. You just continue to serve in spite of, and it's a principle from God, and you will be. Riches is not just about money. It's really about you can be rich in love. You can be rich in health. Because without health, you have nothing. Without love, people killing themselves every day.
Right.
So wealth just don't equate to money. Your family, like, if you can be wealthy, you can be rich and have plenty of money, but your kids can be crackheads.
Yeah.
Your wife cheating on you. I'm just being, you understand what I'm saying? So
I got you.
Service and there is everything. So
Yeah.
service is everything. And then money management. We talk about money management. Being a good steward. You know, the Bible speaks about being a good steward over the little things, the small things. If God can't trust you with $100, $500, $1,000, $10,000 because you're thinking about self and about you, why would God bless you to grow and build something, you know, super amazing when you won't even serve him or his people?
Right.
That's the whole reason, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, so like, let's say you had $1,000. Let's strip everything, all your businesses away. You had $1,000. What would you do?
I mean, that's a tough question as far as like, so what would I do like to build my money back up?
Yeah, would you build your money back up?
That's a really, really good question. So if I had $1,000, I would go back to my native. I buy and sell. So I own a dealership now, but I buy and sell cars. So I know that I can make money there quick. So I would look for a car to flip.
Yeah.
So I would buy me a car at $1,000, sell it for $2,000, and then just continue to grow from there. Like that's easy to me. That's easy.
And that's that entrepreneur. That's that entrepreneur mindset. Like I wouldn't even think about. But I guess you could take something. And I'm trying to think. Something flashed across my brain in a scripture, but it kind of left me. But you could take something that nobody else sees the value in, mold it, shape it, put a little elbow grease in it, and put it back on the market.
That's it. That's it. I mean, truly, entrepreneurship is you answering a call, right? It's like when God brought us Jesus, he answered a call. We needed him, you know, for our salvation, right?
Right.
So you have to answer a call. There are people that need everything, anything. Yeah. You know, like yourself, you're a videographer, photographer. People need video. They need a wedding shot. They want to tell a story. Right. The better you can tell that story and show people that you can tell their story and prove that you're qualified, the more people will book you. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Some people need a car. They need to get back and forth to work to make some money. I can provide that for them. And whatever question is out there and you find the answer, that's the key to having a successful business.
Yeah.
But you have to be creative and you have to be strategic and you have to be, you got to work hard and you got to think, you got to really, really think about what the answer is not always 2 + 2. The answer ain't always just 4. I mean, like you have to find, it's a different way to get there. You know, you might have to go 1 plus 3, get the 4. You know what I mean? You might have to switch it up a little bit, but every question has an answer. And if you can answer a call, you know, that's really a major key to success for sure.
I got another tough one for you. So let's say you $10,000 in debt. You got $10,000. Do you invest that money and make more money, or do you pay off your debt?
Man, that's an amazing question. Let me be transparent in this moment, right? So probably about 4 or 5 years ago, me and my wife was in a place where we had some money, and you know, we knew that we could pay our bills. We could take this money and pay our bills, but then where would we get more capital from? You know what I mean? It's not like we wasn't making money, but we was making money, but we knew that if we took our money and spent it, that we won't have any more capital like this coming in.
Right.
So what, you know, as fast as we did, you know, prior to whatever the case may been. So what we done, we took our money and began investing in more businesses and more companies.
Right.
And you know, today that's why we have so much going on, because I said, man, let's just take a hit on our credit. And you know, instead of paying our bills, let's just take this money and invest it. That's exactly what we done.
Right.
And exactly why we got to this place today that we're in. So
yeah, because when you think about it, all right, the Bible does say, "Oh, no man," right? But there's another scripture where the guy took the talent that he had, he buried it, and then the master came back and said, "What happened?" One guy said, "Well, I turned a 1 into 2," and the other guy said, "I think it was like 5 into 10." But the one guy who had just the 1, he buried it, he saved it, And sometimes it's good to take that chance and invest, but a lot of people are scared to do that though. They're like, I got to pay this. But maybe that's the difference between an employee style person. Not saying that's a bad thing, because I feel like the word employee has become a bad word now. It's not a bad word.
It's not a bad
It's
word.
not. But
not a bad
between
word.
an employee and an entrepreneur, entrepreneurs take a lot of risks.
They do.
They do. Lot,
And I'll say this, because that just brings us to another amazing point that everybody is not built to be an entrepreneur, right?
Yeah.
And everybody people tell me all the time, man, I'm ready to quit my job and go be an entrepreneur. And if you ask the average entrepreneur that really should be an employee, they're struggling, they stressed out, they got so much going on, they losing everything. And that's because you really should be working for somebody,
right,
not for yourself. Because working for yourself sounds like, man, I'm gonna work for myself, I'm gonna be an entrepreneur, I'm gonna do it. But if you're not, again, if you don't have integrity, if you don't have patience, if you don't have perseverance, and you don't have motivation, you really should just be an employee and get your 401k and work and retire and live the American dream. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Yeah. It's okay. Everybody don't need, like, I'll say this as well. What are you willing to sacrifice? You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, I've worked so hard and I have so much, but I've sacrificed a lot in my personal life.
Right.
And just being transparent, spending a lot of time with my children. I spend time with them. I can buy them a lot of stuff now. But in the beginning, I went home. I was working.
Yeah.
And my family suffered for that. So my question is, what are you really willing to sacrifice? You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah. Martin Luther King, they asked Martin Luther King's daughter, tell us about your father. She said, I didn't know him.
Wow.
Because the mission was so great that he was willing to sacrifice that. And that's not something I want to do. That's not something most people want to do.
Right.
But at the end of the day, it takes that for greatness,
It, man.
It's crazy.
So
right?
what are you willing to, and that's for real, like, how many people really know that and has heard her say that?
I mean, when you think about it, right, it's a lot of people who do say, I want this freedom from my job. I want this freedom from being financially to where it's paycheck to paycheck. How important is saving to starting a business? Like, are you good at saving? First of all, is that a big part of? Because I know that's my biggest problem, like saving and being able to allocate the money, budgeting to where it need to be.
Okay, so man, that's a great question, and I want to say this. So me and my wife on May the 21st at 8:30, from 8:30 to 10:30, we're hosting a class at in Virginia Beach, and we can maybe put
the flyer on the screen as well.
Yeah. Okay, good stuff. So we're going to be hosting a class about know your numbers. So if you're a business owner and you're struggling and want to understand your numbers, we can help you with that. Like, we can teach you how to scale and grow and how to build. Most entrepreneurs don't save money, because if you jump without a plan, if you quit your job without a plan and you went into it and you just like, boots on the ground, you have to work and you have to grow a business and you got to build. There's no such thing as saving unless you just got lucky in the beginning and jumped on something like Silly Bands.
Right.
Do I save?
Oh yeah, Silly Band. I remember that.
yeah, he made millions. Yeah. But do I save money? Absolutely. I have so many streams of income. If something slows or dry down, we always got something coming in. And when all of them are thriving at one time, we have so much money coming in that we're able to save. We're able to save. But even before I was making a ton of money, and I don't know what a ton of money is. Before we had multiple streams of income, shall I say, I still save. I don't do the Louis, Gucci, Fendi, and now you're gonna see me in a nice car because I love cars, but it won't be the 2022. You know what I mean? Right. So I might be in a 2014. You're gonna think it's a 22 because I'm gonna keep it clean. You know what I mean? Right. So I don't live beyond my means. I'm very smart and you know, at what I do, the strategic moves that we make. Even if you see me, I have a toy, I got a motorcycle. I can sell my bike and get my money right back from it today.
Right.
And so being smart with your money and go back to being a good steward over your money. And absolutely. When you get to a place you can save, or if you're trying to be an entrepreneur, you need to be saving your money and stop living. So stop buying these extravagant houses and trying to, you know, keep up with the Joneses. You know, we humble, man, and we work hard and we save because it's important and we understand. I'll tell you this real quick, and I'll let you have the floor. I had one of my customers, a multimillionaire. He sat me down one day and he said, "Hey, Terrence, man, how much money are you making?" This was years ago. And I said, "Man, you know, I'm making about $300 a day, man, you know, doing good." He was like, "Man, Terrence, you got to find something else to do." So I was offended because I'm like, I know
pretty good.
$300 a week, you know what I mean? He turned his computer around and he was making $20,000 a day.
Wow.
Okay. Like, this is not we on the phone bragging, I'm on live bragging about. I mean, he turned the computer around and showed me. He said, "Terrence, you have to know your numbers, number one. And number two, you have to dream bigger. Like, you got to think bigger. $300 is okay, but I'm doing it and you can do it. And because I'm not a hater, because I'm a lover, and I understand that he wake up the same place in the same world that I wake up in every single day, and I can do exactly what he's doing, not doing his business, but I can work just as hard as him and get there." You know, I was on a mission. He said, "Save your money, because when opportunity knocks, if you don't have the money," you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like right now, Lord, if you call me, you said, "Terrence, I'm selling my car. It's worth $20,000, but I need $10,000 because we trying to whatever. You in a bad situation, whatever it might be." If I got the $10,000 and I can give that to you, and your car is worth 20, I can afford to wait to make that other $10,000.
Right.
Versus you're in a bad situation and you need the money. When opportunity knock, and you never know when it's gonna happen.
Right.
But when it knock, if you ain't prepared,
man, that's a blessing to hear. That helps me, because that's so important, man. And like I was telling them earlier, over my shoulder right here, that little white piece of paper. And my wife is great. I gave her the vision that I wanted for our finances. And the next day I see her posted, you know, right at my desk. So it's almost like, and we'll talk about how important it is to have a good companion by your side, but just being able to have that extra boost to remind you of your own vision.
Yes.
And I tell people that a good wife will remind you of what you said. And that's why you got to have a vision to start off with, because she'll remind you of what you said and say, "Well, how you going to spend that when you say you wanted to do this?"
Yes. Yes.
But how important is and I'm giving you a chance to get some brownie points right here. How important is your wife to what it is that you do?
So you know she gonna watch this, so I gotta go in. Listen, first of all, man, without my wife, I just wouldn't be the guy who I am today. One of the most important lessons my wife taught me was I have to be more selfish, right? That's how I looked at it. She used to tell me, "You just let people do anything and say anything," and like, because I used to be hardcore, man, and I would fight, and I was crazy, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you know, that's a whole nother thing. And you know, so when I finally grew out of that and became a man and a professional, I let people walk all over top of me, you know what I mean, and kind of get over
extreme opposite.
There you go. So I didn't have a balance. So my wife was the total opposite. She didn't play with nobody, but she also, I'm telling you, bro, like, she didn't play, but she also was a little too hard, and she wasn't soft enough. So I used to tell her she was too hard. She told me I was too soft. So, you know, I was a punk and she was, you know what I mean? She was an idiot. And, you know, and that's just how we viewed one another. And, and through grace and prayer and years and fights and breaking up and, you know what I mean? All type of craziness. We both learned, we balanced each other out. My wife taught me to love myself and to protect myself. And when I learned that lesson, you know, it was okay for me to say no. When you called me and you said, "Oh, I need," or "Can you," or "Can we," it was okay for me to say no, because I had to think about Terrence first. You understand what I'm saying? Not in a selfish way, but if you let people walk over top of you, they'll take And you know, them guys gonna be at the red light for the rest of their life until the city do something about it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They're not willing to go work for it. They just want to take from you. You know what I'm saying? So yeah,
because you got to value your time, man, and people will. And I always tell the kids this: if you don't make plans for yourself, somebody else will make plans for you.
that's a fact. That's good too. I'm gonna steal that. I just want you to know.
I mean, you got to have some kind of direction. I think I'm really, really nice. I'm really agreeable, and
That's a
sometimes
good way
that
to
gets
put
in
it.
the way of business, right?
I'm really agreeable. I like that.
Agreeable, yeah. Now that's a Jordan Peterson term. I don't know if you know who that is,
Nah, you
but
gotta
he
talk
talked
to me.
about how that agreeableness can cause you, and it's a rabbit hole, but it can cause you not to get the opportunities that you really want because you've agreed to something you don't want.
Absolutely.
You know, and but anyway, but yeah, I think that a lot of people in this culture have gotten to the point where they like either they got to have their own business or they're not successful. You know, that's not the case. And we talked a little bit about, and that's what we were trying to, but we talked about the stress that comes along with being an entrepreneur. And I know from just my own life and doing this is that if you don't make time for yourself, number one, you're gonna be stressed out.
Yes,
And
sir.
at some point, you got to learn how to multiply yourself to where you are delegating instead of trying to do everything yourself. And if you are a business owner and you got to do everything, you're gonna burn yourself out, and you're gonna put a cap on what you're able to earn.
There you go.
Talk a little bit about that.
So you working into the miles, you know, like, you know, kingdom, man. Just, you know, when you talk about, you know, the way to have kingdom, like Miles. Listen, man. Okay,
He talking about Miles Monroe for those people who don't know.
Miles
Dr.
Monroe,
Miles Monroe.
If you know him, you know him. If you don't, you need to. Like 100%. So just understanding the principle of, like, Miles Monroe before he died, this is what really turned me on to him. He said, if you die and you don't have a successor, then you're a failure.
Right.
Man, so I promise you that message changed my life. Wow. Because I began to understand that without me, I had one business at the time. Without me, like, everything would fall apart. Like, it was bad. Like that's bad. Okay.
Yeah.
Like, that's bad. So today, if I died today, my wife could move on and kind of run everything, because we have people in place and things in place. Ain't nothing perfect. I don't want y'all to think that everything is perfect, because we still go through. I still wake up some mornings and be like, should I go get me a job that you do? I mean, like what made me?
Me too. I had those moments.
Oh, come on, man. Like people like, man, y'all own all these businesses, y'all doing. Like, listen, man, like, I don't want y'all, like, because I just don't want them to have the false narrative of that is easy. And the reason I'm saying that is because I view the people that I follow, the Steve Harveys, you know, the Will Smiths. I'm sorry for what he done, but I just like, you know, just the people, Jamie Foxx and Denzel Washington, just some people that I can name, Mark Cuban, believe it or not, just to hear them. Simon Sinek. So Simon Sinek, I don't know if anybody know about him. I know you're talking about. He talks about his challenges, right? He does TED Talks on things that he's still struggling with today, which is structure and organization. And he have companies running and doing great because he's not the one that's doing the structure or the organization. Right. He have people in place. You understand what I'm saying? He said, man, he said, some mornings I still wake up and I don't want to, like, I just don't got no motivation. Right. And I'm like, you up here, and that's how you. So I want to share. People believe we the goats and we doing, like, honestly, man, we human, and we wake up and we fear and we scared. When I'm birthing a new business and doing something, you know, I'm praying, but I'm still like, you know, is this God? Like, am I thinking? You understand what I'm saying? Like, yes. Like, and especially when you're bringing people in. When you're bringing people in, you're responsible for making sure they got a paycheck. Like, yes, sir. That ain't something that. Yeah, and this, and I know I'm going on a tangent, but
it's this whole thing of going against the rich, and we got to tax the rich and do this. When you think about the level of responsibility that people up high have, I mean, come on, man. You gotta make decisions that affect not just your life when you get a paycheck, but everybody's life, you know,
Yes.
in your company.
Yes,
And the
sir.
bigger you are, the more responsibility you got.
Period. I mean, I have multiple staff that work for me, and I used to be real stressed out years ago, just thinking about like, what if the what ifs? You know what I mean? What if this ain't working? What if we slow down? What if, But again, every question, every problem has an answer.
Yeah.
Every problem has a solution. If we focus on the solution, we'll never. I mean, if we focus on the problem, we'll never be able to find a solution.
Absolutely.
You understand what I'm saying? Because even if 2 + 2 × X equals, I mean, you know what I mean? And you don't know the answer is out there. Somebody knows it. Somebody can help you get there. You can Google it. You can look it up. But we spend so much time looking at that problem and dealing with that and talking about it and being stressed out about it versus doing something about it.
Yeah, being able to take a step back.
There you go. Whenever I have a problem, I solve it.
Yeah, because you do that, you're taking a step out of the problem. And now you can look at it from the right lens.
There you go.
But if you in it, it's hard to really kind of make any kind of change. But
yes, sir.
Man, we're gonna get into a few more things. I know that we normally only do 30 minutes, but I think people are enjoying this. But I'm gonna pull up a scripture real quick, y'all.
Okay.
And we're gonna get Terrence's feedback on this particular scripture. So in Luke chapter 8, verse 5, it says, a farmer went out to sow his seed, and he scattered the seed. Some fell along the path, it was trampled on, and the birds ate it up. Some fell on rocky ground, and when it came up, the plants withered because they had no moisture. Other seed fell among thorns, which grew up and it choked the plants. Still on others fell on the good soil, and it yielded up a crop 100 times more than it was sown. Now, I just want us to focus on the fact that there were a lot of seeds planted, right? And a lot of people have started things and didn't see the results of it. And you have multiple businesses. They say 9 out of 10 businesses, I think, I'm not sure, don't hold me to that, y'all, fail within the first 5 years.
Yes, sir.
Talk about throwing those seeds out and any struggles that you may have had in seeing the birds eat some of it, the sun scorch some of it, some of the plans that you had. Like, how do you continue to get up and go after it each day?
Oh man, that's such an amazing question. And oh man, such a great question. So I think it's very important that we understand that nothing in life is perfect. And when we begin to kind of, to explore that, you have to understand that you are here to be tested, right?
Yeah.
That's where we get testimony, testify.
Yeah,
You understand what I'm saying? Like God, most of us have grown through our tests. Right?
Test, yeah.
Your greatest tests grow you the most because it puts you in a place where you're uncomfortable, right? God needs you to be uncomfortable for you to grow.
That's right.
When you on vacation, you in your best. You
ain't growing.
You ain't growing. You enjoying. Matter of fact, you gain a couple extra pounds.
That's right. That's the only way you're growing.
Yeah, you come home, you gotta go to the gym a little bit harder.
Yeah.
You sleep in a little bit later. You know why? Because you don't have any worries. You don't have any responsibility. And that's what it's for. It's for you to enjoy the fruits of your labor. And then when you go back, you're supposed to get tested so that you can grow and be a better you. Because the better you grow, okay, the better God wants you to plant seeds and then not grow. He wants you to try and do this because he already know you. He needs you to learn you.
Right.
The more you learn you and learn to grow yourself, the more valuable you are to God.
Right.
Because if you think about God, God is a God of principle and law, right? So God is not going to crack the sky. Even if he did, most of y'all won't believe it anyway.
Right.
But God can't crack the sky and say, Terrence, go to the store, look at this building. You understand what I'm saying?
Right. You gotta
You're
get
gonna
out.
look around and be like, man, the government is tripping.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you still won't believe. But
Right.
God won't come in that form. He has to come in a legal body.
Right.
And
Absolutely.
if all of us understand, you are here legally,
Mm-hmm.
right? The devil can't even operate without a legal body,
That's right. Absolutely.
right? That's why demons have to enter
They gotta
into a
leave.
legal body,
Yeah.
right?
They can't stay
So
if you don't give them permission. They gotta go.
You understand what I'm saying?
That's right. Yeah.
So they don't have authority until they're legal, right?
Yeah.
So the more you grow and build and connect with God, the more that God can use you.
Mm-hmm.
He has another legal body and a legal vessel, a legal testimony, a walking gift to the world, right?
Right.
So when you give to God, you can't beat God given.
That's
You
right.
understand what I'm saying?
That's right.
So you don't gotta be this super saved and like perfect person. God just wants you to do some work, right? He wants you to do your work so you can do his work.
Yeah.
And in return, he'll give you some money.
That's right. Plant
You
your
know what I'm
seed.
saying?
Get your
He give you
seed
a
out
paycheck.
there.
He'll give you a paycheck.
You got to, man.
There you go.
You got to. So I'm gonna post, and I want to thank you for coming on. We man, we were supposed to do this last week, and then we
Yes.
both of us were kind of way too busy. But
Crazy.
I'm gonna put your flyer up. I don't know if y'all can see that. Can you see that?
Yes.
It looked
yes.
kind of crazy with us in the background, but give us a little bit about the program, the event here.
So listen, we only have a few tickets left because we posted it probably about a week ago. We only can work with it's a small group of people, so we're going to be transparent. We all are business owners. If you want to learn and grow and understand how to break down your profit and loss, how to increase sales, how to track your sales, how to understand your money, we can help you. Like, we can help you get there. We can teach you. You know, me and my wife are in school right now, getting certified as life and business coaches. So we're doing it the right way. We have a lot of experience, but we really want to get certified so that we have, the right, so we can give you guys some very valuable, incredible information. You know, we are, a friend of mine told me the other day, I told him years ago, and I literally forgot about this, that I got a doctorate degree in experience. And we do. You understand? Like, our experience is, I have two of them now with, all of the experience that we have from being business owners and kind of going through the fire, just being transparent. I mean, my house has been in foreclosure. We are car notes behind, credit of 200. We got car loans, 28% interest rate because we're trying to build our credit up. I just want to be transparent and let you guys know, like, nothing is perfect and you have to strategically plan. And one of my last principles, what are you willing to sacrifice?
Right. So y'all make sure y'all check that out. If he does have seats available, I'm sure that'll be beneficial to y'all, man. So y'all go check him out. Y'all know how we like to end our show by just letting you know we up. Terrence, the reason why we say that because we could be down, right? So we
good.
up, and we thank God for that. Thank you again, my brother. And we're going to do this again.
Yes, sir.
It's the Pastor Lloyd Morning Show. We up. Good morning.